Welcome in, everyone. I'm SquishableMoon, your shooting star worm on a string with a ranch addiction and fewer brain cells than the common garden snail. And welcome back to my channel. Happy New Year! I know this video is a little late and I can't believe it's 2026. I cannot wait to be sucker punched into the ground all over again with suffering. Now, before we get into the video, I just want everyone to know that these are just some ideas that I found online that I personally use on my own characters to make them better. I have watched over 1,000 videos on Character 101, how to design better, and these are just some of the things that I found that I use. If you do something different, that's totally fine. Feel free to drop it in the comments. I would love to know how you make your characters. Step 1. Obviously, idea. In my personal opinion, this is a great area for you to open a blank document, whether it's on Google Docs or Notepad, and write down some of the things you want your character to be or what you envision your character to look like or act like. It's very important to remember intent when creating a character, so start writing down your ideas and it will help you generalize the idea of what your character is going to be like in the end. Intent basically means what you want your character to be like at the end. Do you want them to be a kawaii desu sugoi character? Or do you want them to be a flamboyant character? Or do you want them to be a scary monster character or an evil villain? Intent basically just means what you want your character to be. We are going to be using my character Squishy, or my VTuber model, as an example for this video because she's the character I probably spend the most time drawing and the most time interacting with. There's so many things about Squishy, like she used to be a shooting star VTuber, however I have added to my character over time, making her a worm on a string because I have a worm on a string addiction and I love them. So I started off with a list of things I was sure that I loved or liked. I like space, I like moon and stars, I like worm on a strings, unicorns and dragons, I like magic, sparkles, glitter, kid core things, bright colors, pastel colors, comfy clothes, stickers, animals, floppy ears, short bangs, pearls, photography, tight clothes with baggy jackets, and running shoes. You don't need to write a whole 5-page essay in order to complete this step. Just make a small list of things that you think you absolutely love deep down in your heart, or things that make you, hobbies, whatever you want, and write them down. Step 2 is mood board. An important step into making any good character is researching what you want your character to be. Whether this is on Google or Pinterest, you need to go out there and find inspiration. After all, you can't make something from nothing. This kind of feeds into step 1, obviously, but mood boards can be a really helpful way to see the kind of vibes you're going to be putting into your character. It's really simple to do. All you have to do is open an art program or find a collage maker and put all your inspiration photos into it and make a collage that is somewhat cohesive. This can include personality traits, character design traits, clothes, color palettes, animals, basically anything you think would go into your character to make your character what it is. Now, I have 2 websites that I normally recommend to people who want to make characters. The most easy of them to use would be Pinterest. Now, Pinterest I feel like is the easiest out of the 2 to use because there are thousands of images already on Pinterest and already out there for you to pick from. And you can even make your own board and organize it yourself. You can also change your board to secret if you don't want anyone to know what you're making. I have a board for Squishy. It has ideas for outfits, accessories, aesthetics, and even color palettes. I like to use it for when I'm being lazy and I don't want to create major outfits or character designs. I actually have another website that I use called Malinote. I actually use this website mostly for my book and getting things down on what the important milestones should be, but I know a lot of people use Malinote for creating characters as well. You can make boards, notes, arrows, upload photos. You can have arrows pointing to your notes and pointing to the photos. It's just a really good place to make characters, not sponsored. Step 3, making multiple designs. After you've got your idea down and your mood board down, now it's time to get into your initial sketch. This is going to be the messiest part of your process and probably a part that will take the longest because this is where you're going to start turning your ideas into stuff on the page. During this process, you don't need to be neat and clean. You don't need perfect strokes. You don't need to be like absolutely sure of anything at this part. We are just going to start taking everything you put into your character and putting it down. Remember, get it on page first and then you can make it perfect later. This is why it's very important during the sketching process. You're going to make multiple designs. You can either make a base and then just draw onto the base, or you can make multiple poses. They don't have to be neat or clean. This is just about getting your character on the page. During this step, it's very important that you pay attention to shape language. If you don't know about shape language, it basically just means if you're using circles, you're going to have a softer character. If you're using triangles, you are going to have a scarier looking character. If you use squares, you're going to have a tougher looking character. Now, I know not everyone likes to use shape language in their artwork, but please try to use it because shape language can tell a character's story before adding anything onto the character. Just from looking at the character's pose and shape language, you can already tell if they're going to be a hero or a villain. Looking at my character Squishy, her shape language is very round. I use a lot of circles in her art. I use a lot of soft edges, and there aren't a lot of corners in her artwork. I like her to come off soft and almost innocent. She does wear one baggy item, and that is usually her jacket. It is also really important to think of environment or the world your character is going to be in and where your story is going to take place. Is it going to be on an alien planet or is it going to be on Earth? Looking at my characters, I push proportions really far, sort of like Disney. I tend to make waists either really tiny or really big. I like to push proportions because I feel like it makes the characters look more dramatic and I like it that way. So you can start off with a really dramatic pose to begin with and then make it less dramatic as you go on and fit it more into your art style. Now, of course, once you are done with your sketch and your shape language and all of that stuff, you can move on to color story. Now, I know color theory is really confusing, and I'm not going to go into color theory that much. By this point, you probably already have a color in mind for your character or a couple in mind for your character that you can work off of and put your character to start with. I knew that I wanted rainbows and I knew that I wanted pastels. It's really important to remember in this step contrast and the places you want people to be looking first. By the way, this is a great time to introduce grayscaling. If you don't know, grayscaling basically means you make all your characters to see which colors are more saturated than the others. The places that are going to be most saturated are going to be the places that people are looking first. So you're going to want to make sure to put the darkest areas next to the whitest areas for very big contrast. Say like black hair and a white face, you're going to have people looking at the face the most. Now, let's say you don't know what colors you want to use. That's fine. You don't need to know what colors you're going to use. What you can do is you can go onto Google and search meanings of colors or color palettes. If you choose a couple colors like I did, I knew that I wanted to use yellow, green, pink, and blue, and I knew I wanted to stick with those colors absolutely. So what I ended up doing is I picked those 3 colors. I absolutely knew I wanted those colors in all different variations, hues and shades, but they're all going to stick to the same color palette that I had. When I look at my character Squishy, the first thing I wanted them to notice was obviously her eyes, but that's because my art style literally makes the eyes ginormous, so you immediately get drawn to her eyes. But the things I wanted people to notice first are going to be the most saturated, and that is her crop top and her shorts. They are the most saturated on her palette, and they stand out a lot more compared to her more pastel hair and pale skin. The point of picking colors is what I'm saying, is just to pick 1 or 2 places you really want people to see first and make those the most saturated. Now that you basically have everything you need to have a full character, the last step, or a step you can absolutely skip, I honestly don't worry about backstory most of the time when I'm making a character, but this is a good place to insert some things that you might want your character to personally be like, or backstories that may have shaped them. It's important to remember your character as you made them, and that your backstory may have caused them to change in the future and make them who they are. Did they have a good home life? Did their parents die? Is their sibling a murderer? Basically pick some things that you think would be an interesting backstory. An example we are going to use is Batman. I know, a weird example to use, but Batman basically watched his parents being murdered and became a superhero. Seeing his parents get murdered made him who he was today. So what in your character's past made them who they are today? With that being said, I hope this was somewhat helpful. This is what I do to make characters. Do you just put things on willy-nilly and hope for the best? Do you just make a cute design and hope for the best? I would love to know how you guys make characters, so maybe I can make even better characters in the future. With that being said, I hope all your dreams come true. Bye-bye.